Namaste Gurukurians. Hope you all are doing well and are safe at your homes. So in the previous lecture we discussed about the matters in our surrounding. The chapter 1 is matter in our surrounding. So what we discussed in the previous one? Firstly, what is a matter? Anything that occupies space and has mass is known as what? Matter. Then we discussed about which type of matter it is. That means which kind of particles are present in a matter. That means matter is made up of particles, the second characteristics. The third point is the size of the particle is very small. Fourth, there is a force of attraction between the two particles of matter. Very good. And the fourth point is the attraction. The fifth point is they are dynamic in nature. That means the particles present in a matter are not static, are not constant. They are continuously in motion. That means they are moving. They are moving. Very nice. And there is a space between the two particles of matter. That means these two particles of matter, they are not attached to each other. There is a space between the two particles. These are the things which we discussed in our previous lecture. Okay. So today's lecture, what we are going to discuss in the today's lecture is which is the states of matter. What? The states of matter. Now the topic name is the states of matter. The states of matter. Very good. So, can anybody tell me how many states of matter are present in the universe? Mainly it is of three types. We all know solid. The first is solid. Second one liquid. And the third one is gas. These are the commonly known states of matter. But irrespective of these three, two more states of matter exist in the universe. These are number one, the Bose-Einstein, and the fifth one is the plasma. Okay, we'll discuss about these in your further lectures. Okay, but firstly, regarding these three common states of matter up to your standard, we'll discuss it in the higher classes. Okay, so the first is the name of the state is solid state. So now you have to think. The things surrounding you, are they all solid? So now the question must arise in your mind that what is a solid? How I am going to classify that this substance is solid or it is a liquid? That's the main question that should be there in your mind. That how can I say that this chalk is a solid? Because there are some properties enlisted with the solid states of matter. And how one come to know that this is a water glass, so it is made up of, so it is in liquid state. Are you getting my point? How you can distinguish these two things? This ball made up of plastic is completely solid. I told you, okay, it is of solid. But the water inside this glass is not a solid. It is a liquid form. How I am going to say that these two are different things? That means there are some properties that are listed with the each and every states of matter. So today we are going to discuss about the properties of solid state and the property of liquid state. So starting with this, the property of solid state. How can we say that this chalk is a solid in nature? Okay. Or you can say that this highlighter or the marker is solid in nature. So firstly we just have to see the physical thing which you can analyze just by seeing the object. This object is having a definite shape. Is it having a definite shape or an indefinite shape? Definite shape means bache, this shape of the marker is not going to change if I am going to compress it. If I am going to what? Compress it. That means the shape of this marker is definite. Okay. I can draw the shape of the marker just by placing the marker on the board and just marking it with the chalk. So this is the marker shape. First thing we'll come to know is a definite shape. The volume of this, the volume is What we said, it is a metal, that means it is having the mass. Secondly, it is going to occupy some space or having the volume. The volume of this marker is fixed. This amount of space he is going to occupy. It is going to occupy this much amount of space in this universe. So the space occupied by this marker is constant. That means first point is shape. Shape is definite, as you can see from the marker. Second, definite volume. That means the amount of space it is going to occupy in the universe is same. The third thing, am I able to draw the boundary of the marker? My question is, am I able to draw the boundary of the marker? Yes, I am able to draw the boundaries of the marker on the board. That means definite boundaries. That means definite boundaries. Okay. Definite shape, the first point, the definite volume, the second one, and the definite boundary, the third one. Now the fourth point I am going to discuss about the solid state is, are solid easy to compress or they are difficult to compress? Let me see. If I am going to compress the marker, I am just applying the force on the both sides, on the both direction, but I am not able to compress the marker. You getting my point? The compression means if I am going to squeeze this marker, but the solids are not easy to compress. I am applying the force in both the direction, but the shape, the volume, the boundaries, and this very thing is not going to compress. That means solids are having very negligible compressibility. That means solids are not easy to compress. Okay, bache? So the first point we discuss about the solid. You can see a solid object. Okay. The shape definite, volume definite, not easy to compress, and definite boundary. So these are the property of solids. Now a twisting question from my side to all of you. This is a rubber band. Is this rubber band a solid? Is this rubber band a solid? Yes or no? Just match its property with the enlisted 4 properties. Number first, definite shape. Is this rubber band is having a definite shape? Just by seeing it? Yes. But if I am going to stretch it, the shape of the original rubber band is like this. But if I am going to apply the force on both the directions, the shape of this rubber band is going to change. It is not same as the previous one. So, definite shape in case of rubber band. So this point is not going to be satisfied in case of rubber band. So I just put a cross in front of that property. Check another property. A definite volume. The space occupied by this rubber band is this much. But if I am going to apply the force, the space occupied by the rubber band increases. That means definite volume. So definite boundaries. If I am going to draw the boundary of this rubber band, it seems to be like this. But on applying the force, the boundary seems like this. That means so. Okay. Another is negligible compressibility. Compressibility is just a thing to compress. Okay. And this is stretching. This is stretching. This one is compressibility. So the compressibility, I can easily compress this rubber band. As you can see, I can easily compress this rubber band. Again, negligible compressibility. So in case of rubber band, all these 4 properties are not satisfied. But there is a twist. It is still a solid. So now the contrast here is why rubber band is considered as a solid. Because bache, solid is having a definite shape, but in absence of external force. This rubber band is having a definite shape if I am not going to apply any external force. But if I am going to apply the external force, the shape of the rubber band changes. But again, when I release the force, the shape of the rubber band comes to its original one. That means in the absence of the external force, the solids try to retain its position, but it tries to retain its shape and the position. So this is what? Solid. Okay. We discussed about the properties of solid. Now the next is the property of liquids. The property of liquids. Again, a very interesting thing is coming in my mind. Okay. This is about the rubber band. The rubber band is a solid. Yes or no? Yes, it is a solid, because we have already discussed the reason, because in the absence of external force, it is in its remain in its original form. Then this form, foam or sponge, you can see. Is this a solid? Is this a solid? Just match the properties. This sponge is having a definite shape. Yes. This sponge is having a definite volume, definite boundaries, and the compressibility. As you can see, I can easily compress it. The shape, the volume, the definite boundaries, they all. But is it going to satisfy the all properties? No, it is not going to satisfy, because it is easy to compress. But again, it is science. Okay. Interesting thing. It is considered as a solid. Why it is considered as a solid? Because as you can see the structure, but see, you need not to see on its outer boundaries. Okay. You see it very closely. You can see some space between the molecules, because each and every metal, they are having space, empty space, and these empty spaces are trapped by what? Air. Are trapped by what? Air. But when I am going to compress it, the air molecules got expelled from this solid. That's why the shape changes. But when external force is again released, it regains its shape, because these air molecules, they again trap into the spaces between the particles of sponge. Spaces between the particles of sponge. Okay, so again sponge is a solid. So the next we'll discuss about the liquid properties. Next thing we'll discuss about the liquid properties. Again the same thing we are going to do. Just look at the liquid surface. You just need to look at the liquid. Okay, just by seeing it, what you can see? A definite shape. Can you say that this liquid is in a definite shape? Just we'll do another activity. If this amount of water is in a glass, the shape of the liquid is same as that of the glass. But if I am going to pour the water into this bottle, this water is going to attain the shape of the bottle. That means the shape of liquid is not definite. That means indefinite shape. Liquid is not having a definite shape. It can attain the shape of anything in which it is kept. The second is a definite volume. That means this amount of water, if it is inside this glass, it is of same volume. If I am going to pour the same amount of water in the bottle, that means in both the cases the shape changes, but the volume of the liquid remains constant. That means definite, definite volume. Very nice. Okay. The third thing is compressibility. Liquids are easy to compress. But compressibility will check in case of solid. But in case of liquid, we'll check the flow property. Okay. Liquids flow easily. Liquids flow easily. Okay. So that means the flow property of liquids. So just because of the flow property, they are also known as fluids. The liquids are also known as fluids. Very nice. And the fourth one, liquid can dissolve other solids, liquids and gas into it. That means dissolution power. Dissolution power. Liquids can easily dissolve, like for example, if I am going to take a spoon of sugar, as we did in the previous lecture, okay, the spoon of sugar, that amount of sugar is completely completely solubilized into water. That means sugar dissolves completely in water. Same in case of salt. We already did this experiment in the previous lecture. Okay. So these are the enlisted property of what? A liquid. Indefinite shape but definite volume. Liquids flow easily. That's why they are known as fluids. And the dissolution power. That means liquid can dissolve solid. Liquid can dissolve another liquid into it. And liquid can dissolve gas into it. We have already discussed about the solids. Now about the liquids. If I am going to mix two different liquids, like if I am having in one glass there is a cold drink and in another glass there is water. If I am going to mix these two, they can be easily miscible and you can't separate the two. You can't identify that which amount of that cold drink in it and which amount of water is present in it. So cold drink and water, the gaseous part. But see, when gases are dissolved in water, it's not easy that I can easily dissolve the oxygen present in the surrounding in the water. There are certain specific conditions like pressure should be very high and temperature should be very low. We'll discuss it in the further lectures. Okay. So for this lecture on now, you can say that gases can be easily dissolved in water. Very nice. So now each and everything is not going to dissolve at the same rate. Firstly, the term rate. Rate stands for how much amount of the solid or the liquid or the gas is going to dissolve in the water. For example, if I am having this glass half filled with water. Okay, I am going to add sugar, I am going to add cold drink, a liquid, and I am going to add a gas. So I just need to see the rate of dissolution of these three. So we can compare it in between the liquid versus solid. Which one is easily dissolved in water? Taking an example of liquid is cold drink and for solid is sugar. You can do this activity at your home. Just try to dissolve 1 spoon of sugar into the same amount of water and just try to dissolve half of the glass of cold drink into water. Which one is going to dissolve easily and fastly? That is cold drink. That means the rate of dissolution of liquid is very fast as compared to the solid form. So these are the properties regarding the solid state, the liquid state. Okay. Now there are some textual questions in your book. Firstly, regarding the previous lecture, okay, where you have to identify which is a metal and which is not a metal. Already discussed. Then, why the fragrance of hot food you can smell from the larger distance and not with the cold food. Already discussed. Now again, one thing is it easy to cut a liquid or to cut a solid? That means if I am having this water and I am having a wooden block, which one is easy to cut? I can cut the water with the help of my hands. That means this is the water. If I am going to cut it, it can be easily cut down. But if this is a solid, I can't cut it with my finger. Okay, I can't cut it with my finger. So which one is easy to cut? Liquid. Why? The reason is same. Just go to the basic part. In liquid, the space between the particles is large and the force of attraction is small. But in case of solids, the size between the particle is very small and the force of attraction is very strong. But the basic remains the same. The concept remains the same. You can take a variety of examples just by using the single concept. Concept is in liquid, space between the particle is large. If large space is there, the force of attraction is weak. But if the space is small, the force of attraction is strong, as in the case of solids. So these are the properties we discussed. Okay. Previous lecture. After the previous lecture, you have to do the textual questions. 4 or 5 textual questions are there in your NCERTs. Okay. After that, the states of matter which we discussed today, solid state and the liquid states, and how they are going to example of a rubber band, okay, and the liquid, and what is the difference between the liquid and the solid state. How you can say that this is a solid, this is a liquid, okay. So today's lecture is about the solid state as well as the liquid state. In the next lecture, we'll discuss about the gases part, and we'll do some textual questions, okay. 6 to 7 textual questions are there, okay beta. Now thank you so much and enjoy.